Let's talk about tourism now. The country's tourism industry is one of many to have been hard hit by the coronavirus pandemic. The industry is among those waiting with bated breath for government's decision regarding the extension of the current national state of disaster, which is expected to expire tomorrow. That's the 15th. Is it tomorrow? The 15th of March. Yes, indeed it is. Local authorities are already encouraging South Africans to partake in local tourism, which will assist the country's tourism industry recover from the devastating impact of the pandemic. One such campaign is this year's Eastern Cape SUV Challenge, which seeks to promote domestic tourism as well as spread a message of road safety. Joining us to speak about this, we've got, we were meant to be joined by the Road Traffic Management Corporation, Simon Zwane. If he signs in, we'll certainly add him to the conversation. Can't get hold of him at this time, but we do have Siya Mbete, who is the founder of the Siyavuya Foundation, which organises this particular challenge. Good to have you. Thanks so much for joining us, Siya.
Good morning, Leanne, with your viewers. It's good to be back again. Yeah. I'm always nervous to come to your studio.
No, there's no need to be nervous this time, because this is actually a fun story, but a fun story that I imagine is long overdue. I'm sure that, you know, the state of disaster, the lockdowns, all of these restrictions in the country have played a very bad role in organising events such as this. I mean, how's it been? Are you hoping to see the state of disaster end?
Look, Leanne, thank you for having me again. The hope is there, obviously. I think that one reason that we had started the SUV challenge was to infuse positivity into the people and also change people's perceptions about the future, what the future holds. If we do not have hope as the country, we will perish. So the SUV Challenge is one platform that provides that opportunity to preach a positive message and infuse hope into the people. We remain hopeful that the economy will open up, and also that the country will pick up from where it is today. And the only way we can do that is going to the people, where the people, they need the hope the most. And the SUV Challenge is that platform that goes to your rural communities, that goes to the youth. In particular, you know that we have the highest number of unemployment, and it is a time-ticking bomb. And also, you've just mentioned that we are coming back from the global pandemic, and it is such innovations that will change the future and the landscape of our country to become a source of hope and source of changing how the outlook of the country looks like. Like the SUV Challenge, as it goes through, it looks all the positive work that the national government is busy working in. For an example, the infrastructure projects that are done in the Eastern Cape, and also there's a Msikaba bridge that Sandral is doing, for example, that the president has visited. Many people have not seen that bridge. We want to take ordinary South Africans to see such work. And the more we see the positive stories, the more we see good work that the government is doing. The SUV Challenge, it seeks to do that. It seeks to say, let us stand up, let us do something again. It is not over. We must try again. We must keep on pushing also the message of road safety, the heritage. You know, Eastern Cape alone does not need any much of changes. You know, you already have the heritage sites, which you can take your international visitors and community to view, and actually the attractions that are in the province are enough to showcase for all the visitors. And the only way that you can quickly turn around the situation is to boost the tourism industry. The recovery, it will only happen through the collaboration, the private sector and government, and also your ordinary South Africans using the opportunity to visit, so as to give opportunities, employment opportunities, and also for recovery.
All right, so it's 4 years in now. Quite an interesting theme, a combination of themes actually: road safety, heritage tour, and back to school. So you're fitting quite a lot in there. How does this all work? And the SUV challenge, what do you actually do in the SUV challenge?
Sure. No, thank you so much, Leanne. The SUV Challenge, it is a road safety awareness campaign, but also it is a tour of the Eastern Cape. We tour the provinces, the rural areas. We visit schools. We teach learners. We do road safety education, and also we showcase some of the beautiful attractions in the Eastern Cape province. We also encourage the youth. We come with a number of institutions that are talking about what sort of opportunities that are available to the youth. And also remember, we are building up to the Easters, and also I see Mr. Simon Zwane has joined us, and we are working towards ensuring that there are no souls that are lost in our roads. We encourage people to take responsibility in terms of road safety. And also, we're trying to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. We're talking about road safety awareness. We're talking about the social cohesion. We're talking about the heritage tour. These are the major challenges in our country, and it includes the death of our people. So we're trying to say that let us play our part in ensuring that we are changing the outlook of our country.
All right. So Simon, so we've got very quickly. I really want to speak to Simon. So just end off what you were saying.
No. I wanted to say that the SUV Challenge, because of the impact it has, the number of lives that it touches, we have also received a lot of. Last year we hosted in KwaZulu-Natal, and there was a great response in terms of the response. And also there are other provinces like Northwest that are wanting to host us, Mpumalanga and Limpopo. So the SUV brand is growing, and it is making a lot of changes and improving a lot of lives in the process.
Right, great. So Simon, good to have you, RTMC spokesperson. Your involvement in this particular challenge, what is it?
Yes, no, we are glad to be part of this challenge. We also participated last year. We like the fact that it promotes road safety, and that builds on the position that we have always taken, that road safety is everybody's responsibility. Now, when we see private sector partners also coming up with initiatives like this, we become happy, because it really shows that it's not government's responsibility alone to promote road safety in the country, but every sector and every individual has got a role to play in ensuring that our roads are safe. Yeah. It's for that reason that we support this initiative and will always be part of it.
Fantastic. While I've got you on, there are 1 or 2 questions I really do need to ask you. I think Siya has given us a great understanding of what this whole SUV challenge is all about. But turning our issues a little bit to your portfolio, and that's the latest regarding the e-NATIS system and the recent protest, especially from driving school instructors, who claim that the new system prevents them from performing optimally in terms of making bookings for the clients. So let's perhaps talk about that just for a bit. I think it's important, while I've got you here, to address that.
Yeah, Leanne, no, I can tell you that the system is stable now. There are more people who are able to make transactions. In fact, last week, the system was performing at a higher level even compared to when we launched the payment system. So that shows stability. I think there were 16,000 transactions performed on the system. And it must be understood that the protests by driving schools were only in Gauteng. We have had no such protests in other provinces. And people have been able to renew their vehicle license discs from as far as the Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, and the Eastern Cape. In fact, KwaZulu-Natal and Western Cape were some of the provinces with the highest number of transactions. So the system is working. There have been engagements with the Driving School Association led by the MEC for Transport in Gauteng. They've made certain suggestions about how the system can be reconfigured to accommodate them. Yeah. And we've taken those into account and are working on bringing up those solutions.
Yeah. Okay, because I know that there have been a lot of issues around that. And then just finally, we've got to get into headlines. But in terms of the latest on the non-extension of license cards, because this is another big problem. Is this fair in the light of the recent challenges of the card printing machine that was down? I find myself in the same position. I am awaiting my card. I've got a temporary license that is going to be running out soon. And then I have to reapply for another license, another temporary license, because my card is nowhere near ready. And, this is something that's been ongoing since the beginning of 2020. Any updates on this? Because this, I think, is a very big issue that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, it's true, Leanne. There have been, I think, more than 3 reminders to people to go and renew their vehicle license cards. And each time the response has been lukewarm. So now we're at a stage where the machine that produces driving license cards is working. I think they're producing 100,000 per week, and those will be able to clear the backlog. I think they said by the end of June. But in the meantime, for those people whose licenses are expiring now in March, if they can go and renew now, they will be allowed to continue driving with their expired license and proof of payment that they would have for the coming 3 months. But those who, if people come after the grace period, that is, they come in April, then they will have to obtain a temporary driving license. I hope that your situation would be addressed soon, because we've seen that they are beginning to arrive at our DLTCs and other DLTCs. Yeah. The driving license cards are beginning to be received, and people are being called to come and receive them.
Yeah. So, in conversation, I'm sorry that I'm hijacking the conversation a little bit, but Siya, I think this is quite important. I'm glad we've spoken about the SUV challenge in the beginning. But this is something that people are very worried about, Simon, and I know that your hands are tied here because this is the minister's decision and he will not extend this. But, people are trying. They're trying to get to licensing stations, to try and, get a temporary license, then they wait. I just take myself. The only reason I know this is because I'm going through it. So, mine was meant to be ready at the end of December, the beginning of January. Here we sit. I visit every single month, and they still say no. There are millions that are being delayed, and that it only started printing recently, and that more than likely I won't be getting my license anytime soon, and that in fact I'm going to have to renew my temporary license and pay for your mistake. Now, perhaps you can address that, because I'm not the only person who's going through this. In fact, I got Sakina pointing a finger at herself, saying she's going through the same thing. And I think out of 2 of us sitting at a desk of 2 people, that's quite a high percentage. So, this is something I think that needs to be addressed before the end of the month. We cannot possibly not have another extension.
No, it is being addressed, Leanne. The guys at the driving license card divisions are working overtime to ensure that the cards do come out. So what we are sometimes observing is that in some driving license centers, they do not send out messages or SMS messages to people to say they can come and collect. But licenses have gone out to many of the licensing centers. But you can also check for the status of the license on the online natives system, and there's a functionality called Query Driving License. There you are able to see whether your license has been sent to the licensing center where you applied for it. But if you applied at one of the RTMC centers, at Waterfall or Centurion, you would receive an SMS that tells you that your license is ready for collection.
Sure, gosh, those are lucky people. I've never received an SMS for a thing. You stand in the dark waiting for anything, and then you have to go there. They give you a telephone number to phone, and it's almost like this telephone sits in an empty office with nobody answering it. And that's the kind of service that every single one of us are getting. Simon, my final question to you, just in terms of, how are we now meant to pay for your mistakes, if you know what I'm saying? Is that why must I then pay for if I need to get my temporary license extended again? Or if I have to, I must pay for your mistakes? I just don't understand this.
No, and I have said, if you renew in time, you would not have to pay, you would not have to get a temporary license. But it's only after the expiry of the grace period that you have to get a temporary license. That is intended for you not to be inconvenienced in roadblocks or by the traffic officers on the roads. So that your travel doesn't get interrupted.
Yeah.
But if you have proof that if you have proof like you two say you renewed in December and you have proof of payment or the receipt that they gave you, you can drive with that expired license and that proof to show the officer that you have actually renewed and there's a delay in the delivery of your driving license.
Okay, all right. Okay, so sorry, I'll have to leave it there. But Simon, thanks for answering my question. Siya, let me leave the last note with you. If people want to get involved in this, I mean, we see that the RTMC are on board. They are supportive of this, but and we see that it's going to be a great thing for the Eastern Cape. If you want to be involved in it and enter or be a part of this SUV challenge, how do we go about doing that?
Oh, it's simple, and people can join via our social media. They can inbox us on the social media pages at SUV Challenge, and also our website suvchallenge.co.za. And it starts on Wednesday, the 16th till the 20th of March.
Right, fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks very much Thanks for talking to us. And Simon, we needed some clarity on what was happening there, because I think we do get a lot of emails and complaints about that. So thank you for addressing those concerns for our viewers. Simon Zwane, RTMC National Spokesperson. We'll invite him again so we can have a proper conversation. And of course, Siya Mbete, who's the founder of Siyavuya Foundation.